We work so you can play.
War Machine Battle Report, Khador versus Menoth, Matt versus Craig.
Menoth, turn 3. A lot happened here again. First, Kraos decides to move over and pop his feet, essentially knocking down everything that you can see in this camera that is Khador. So these 4 jacks got knocked down, and all the Iron Fang pikemen got knocked down. Now, they are actually still knocked down, so I just kept them standing up because it's pretty easy to remember. And then he proceeded to basically wreak havoc throughout this group and killed a bunch of my Iron Fang pikemen. He killed 6 of them. And then he moved his cavalry up here, obviously trying to go for a caster kill, so we'll see what happens there. And he did a lot of damage to the Drago from shooting and a lot of damage to the Berserker from hitting, did next to no damage to the Juggernaut. In fact, I don't think he did any damage. And he moved up and took this objective. So he's taken 2 objectives now. So he now has 4 points against my 2. And it is now Khador, turn 3. Khador just finished their turn 3, and I know I keep saying this, but a lot is happening. I'm really enjoying this game. There's a lot of tactics involved here because we're going for the objectives at the same time. So first off, Vlad had a lot of choices to make of how he's going to use his focus. So what he did is he used 2 focus to stand up the Berserker and Drago, these guys that are up there now. And then he gave Drago 1 focus, and he used the other 4 in his activation to cast Signs of Importance, the one that gives an extra die minus the lowest die. And then he advanced over here away from the cavalry who would like to see him dead. And that's all he did, and the dog followed along with him. And he also used his feet. So he basically doubled the speed of all my jacks, so they all have 8 speed. The jacks, as you can see, the Drago, unfortunately, his movement was disabled, so he could only walk 8 inches, which is pretty far for walking. And so he full advanced 8 inches. He killed one of the cavalry, used the other focus for a Run Riot, which allowed him to move 1 more inch because nobody was in melee range. But unfortunately, he's like a 1/4 inch away from the other one. Otherwise, he could have killed it too. The Berserker charged the other cavalry, killed it, and then turned and did, I think, like 8 or 10 damage on, I think it's 8 damage on his Warjack. The Demo Corps ran because they were behind cover, so they could not charge up here. So they ran and took up position all around here to kind of give more targets and to keep Vlad a little more protected from an easy caster kill. Although he can still be targeted, it'll be a little harder for targeting. The Doom Reavers decided they're tired of waiting with this objective. This is the escort, and he's 9 inches away from all of them, so they're still in formation, and they ran up to here. And so I still held that point, so I have 3 points, and Craig still has 4 points. So it's 4-3. Oh, and the Iron Fang pikemen stood up, and they killed one of his guys, and they missed the other one, because they weren't under the effect of Signs of Importance all the way over there, so it wasn't as effective. So they stood up, they're in shield wall, and now it is Menoth, turn 4. They've killed a lot of my jacks. This guy basically killed the Demo Corps guy and killed the Berserker, so he's holding that objective. This last cavalry decided to leave Drago and go after the Doom Reavers, although he had to run to get there, just to kind of deny them their charge. And we have this Warjack came up and killed Drago quite easily. And then these guys came up and damaged the Juggernaut. These guys charged and damaged the Juggernaut and finished off the Berserker. They managed to kill. He trampled my officer on the way through. And other than that, oh yes, and this guy fired his gun into the Doom Reavers and killed the one in the middle, and the other ones he failed to hurt. Khador just finished their next turn, and this game is a nail-biter. So let me show you what happened. First off, Vlad allocated 3 of his focus over to the Juggernaut, who proceeded to trample through this guy and almost killed him, and then killed the Dragoon with 2 of his ice attacks. Unfortunately, since he did not kill him, he did not capture this objective. The Iron Fangs finished off the group that they were fighting against. This little war dog attacked the cavalry and didn't do anything. And Vlad cast Signs of Importance, of course, on his turn to give everybody the extra that they needed. The Man of Wars charged the 2 jacks. As you can see, that 1 jack is gone now, and these 3 managed to kill him quite well. And this one attacked this jack and damaged him, but not much has been disabled, or anything's been disabled. And the Doom Reavers charged. The Grey Lord Escort swapped places with the Doom Reaver to keep them in formation, and they managed to kill the cavalry that was right there. They contributed to the kill of this Warjack, and they killed one of the choir guys. So There'll be a little less boosting, although I guess there's still enough of them left to do that. So as we look at it, I have 5 points and Craig has 6. And it is now his turn, so he only needs to get 1 point somewhere. I have all 3 objectives, or at least this one's contested. But all he has to do is knock me off of one of them, and he will win the game. We are finished. So, in the Menoth turn, this is a do-or-die scenario, because if he did not take the last point, then I would clearly have this objective, and I'd be able to get to my 7 no problem. So it really was important for him to do it, and he was able to. The Juggernaut, of course, he was more than half damaged, so he charged in with his caster and with this other guy that did barely anything. But the caster was able in 2 hits out of the 5 that he was going to be able to have to finish off the Juggernaut. And so this guy's in base contact with him. He's not knocked down anymore. We forgot to remove that marker. And so he got that last point, giving him 7 points, and that is the victory. This was an intense game and a lot of fun. That's by far my favorite scenario. It's the first time I've played it, and I really enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Craig. I played the Protectorate in this game against Matthew, and this was an exciting game for me because it's the second time I've tried Cavalry with 2 units in the Krios tier lists that I ran. I had 2 minimum units of Cavalry. And it's the second time I used them. The first time it didn't go so well. This time it went really good. I was able to run them around and flank Matthew's army. It was good. I had a well-balanced list, and I had some heavy jacks in there and some good range attacks. I'd say that my VIP for this game would probably have to go to my Exemplar Errant unit. With the attachment, they were able to get on this objective marker, and basically there's still 2 models here at the end of the game, so they were able to hold on to that very well with Krios's buff spell that he gave them to his armor and defense, so they did really well for me.
Well, I have to say I really enjoyed that game. It's probably one of the most fun games of War Machine I've ever played. And I think the reason for that is because it felt a lot more tactical because of the scenario. The killing field scenario is by far my favorite. I'm going to have to look up more scenarios, because most of the scenarios in the War Machine and Hordes books are they're more controlling areas after the 3rd turn, so it's more everybody focuses on fighting, and then if you happen to be able to grab an area and win, then that's great. But this one's more take the objectives, you get points every turn, and that was always one of my favorite scenarios in Warhammer 40k as well, was the capture the objectives where you actually accumulate points. That was a little extra that we added onto our scenarios. And it really adds to the tactics, because the entire game you have to worry about your positioning, which is not normally what you have to do. So I really enjoyed it because both sides got to kill a lot. Craig played phenomenally. I think I did pretty well too for the first time. I love the list with Vlad. I'm starting to like the composition of having units and not just jacks. I know I've always been saying that I want to go for an all-jack army, but I think it's just not in the cards, that I'm going to have to add in units and other things as well to make more of a balance. And it was a lot of fun having a bit more mobility, I guess you can say, in my army than just the huge heavy jacks waiting to be charged and then hopefully surviving so they could just beat the crap out of whatever just tried to charge them. So this worked a lot better. I enjoyed the Doom Reavers, although I didn't get to fight with them a lot. I did enjoy the Man of Wars did great, the Jacks did great, and the Iron Fang Pikemen, once again, they were really good because they got up there, they did a lot of damage, they held their ground, and they survived for the whole game. So I'm quite happy with them. So overall, it's a great game. I hope you enjoyed it, and go ahead and leave a comment below about what you liked about the game and what you'd like to see in the future. And happy wargaming!